Hey everyone, Stephen here with Fountain Forward, along with my esteemed colleague.
Phil Trebatowski, Director of Client Retention here at Fountain Forward.
And we're going to talk about a little topic here. Think it's a lead problem, think again. So a quick synopsis here, or a quick ideal outcome. The ideal outcome that we present to our dealers is we want your dealership to scale via website lead volume, or as we call it, core lead volume. Now, there's a lot of different factors in which come into play to generate core lead volume. And Phil has built the Analytics Edge system in which measures all of this. But think of it as in-market demand and what you pay to acquire it, the conversion of in-market demand into a lead and what the lead mix looks like. And then when the salespeople take over, contacts for lead to appointment, appointment show, objection handling, as well as looking at the choice of words that they're using during these calls. And Phil and I often talk about all these different factors that are overlooked, which is how much inventory do they have, the type of inventory, the merchandising of that inventory. And when we look at then, let's assume that the salespeople are getting enough leads. So let's assume that. Let's look into, Phil, how often are you seeing that, number one, leads aren't being followed up enough? But then when you are seeing them followed up enough, let's look at a couple hundred secret shoppers per month. You said the other day, how many minutes did it take or I'll let you unpack that. You said 7 minutes to do what exactly?
7.5 minutes for a customer to call the store and end up talking to an actual salesperson. They're met with a greeting, then they get put on hold, and they're put on hold for 7 minutes. And by the time, again, they actually talk to a salesperson, it's 8 minutes into the conversation.
And I think what's important here is we often have conversations with dealers about, oh, that was just one time, or oh, that's an outlier. While that may be the case from time to time, we have a couple hundred secret shoppers per month. Here's what I can tell you. In general, that's not the case. There's a very high amount of individuals that have what we call friction, a lot more friction than they should. And I want to highlight one of our dealers out of Kentucky who we spent this last week with, and his mentality. Steve and I assume that when somebody is calling us, they're going to buy the car. And so I'm very quick on our conversation. I ask a couple of questions. I'm then sending them, for example, the finance app. They're going to send it back over. We're going to talk again. And by the time that they come in, they're buying the vehicle. And it's the way that they, from an attitude standpoint, and it's the choice of words that they're using on the call, they just sound different. Good afternoon, X Motors. This vehicle. Yes. Fantastic. Are you financing? Do you have a trade? He goes to trade right off the bat, opens up the inventory if he needs to, but the vast majority of the time it's on that vehicle and they're coming in. And that's why this dealership, and this is just a real number, there's 2 salespeople and they sell 105 cars per month. And we've been with them for 5 years. We've vetted this up, down, left, right. There must be something else. And no, what it is it's the mentality when getting on the phones. And the way they approach it is this person's going to buy the car. There's no games. There's no back and forth. They're going to buy the car. And what I would say is when you think it's a lead problem, my question to the dealers is, how much time are you investing into looking at the choice of words that the individuals are using on these actual phone calls? And how much of the customer's time are you wasting? Because this little thing back and forth, it's not showing that we're making the customer the hero. It's showing that we're trying to make ourselves the hero. And if we make the customer the hero, the customer ends up buying. But if we do the opposite, we end up getting a bad reputation and we end up messing up what could be a fairly easy transaction. Phil, what was one of the dealers you had just looked at? You had mentioned, hey, even though they went down in inventory, they happened to, with our system, get an increase in lead volume. But what did you see happen?
We also completed an internet mystery shop, which I'm showing here. And this is showing the follow-up attempts over a 7-day period. And this store in particular, you can see there were 2 contact attempts on day 1. There was a text and an email that went out. But over the next 6 days, this lead was only touched 1 time. Days 2 and 3, there were no additional follow-up attempts. And then in days 4 through 7, there was 1 additional email that sent out. This person inquired on a new 2024 Ford Escape. Steve, what's the average MSRP of an Escape? We were just driving one.
The average MSRP of a Ford Escape is about $35,000.
This person is telling you that they want to spend $35,000 at your store. You've contacted them 3 times over a 7-day period. You've not even called this lead back. You've sent 2 emails and 1 text. how serious are you about actually selling that vehicle? Now, again, if you take this and extrapolate this out across 400 leads in any given month, does this store really have a lead volume problem or do they have a lead handling problem?
I think it's a great point, Phil. And to put this thing to bed, what I would ask the dealers is going back to this mentality. If it's not in the CRM, it didn't happen. It's just something that helps everybody. Salespeople will set more appointments and sell more cars. Sales managers will be happier. GSM, GM, owner. If it's not in the CRM, it didn't happen. And these discussions with the salespeople should be happening every single morning. How to eat an elephant, one bite at a time. So every single morning, what was our standard operating procedure for a fresh lead? 3 contacts during the first 24 hours. Okay, great. Go look at that. Those are not documented in the CRM. We should have this individual hand-holding, especially during the beginning, the first 90 days, to make sure that the salespeople are following the standard operating procedure so that you can get to your ideal outcome. If I'm a dealer, the first thing that I'm doing when it comes down to me wanting to get the highest return on investment is looking into the leads and the actual choice of words that are being used in talking to these leads. And I want you to look at phone calls, using AI with phone calls, the choice of words, highlighting specific words using AI to look at, okay, are they proactively bringing up the trade? Are they opening up the inventory? Are they leading the phone call? Are we playing games with the consumer? Are we making them the hero? If we're not doing those things before you go and do anything else, let's make sure you do the most economical thing you can, which is address that and spend the time each morning and making sure our salespeople are following best practices. So, think it's a lead problem? Think again.
I wanted to touch on Highly Fort Worth, specifically with how Kip has focused on his first response and his first price back to customers. This is as the pool is down 33%. It's like, yes, they're still down year over year, but they do outperform the pool. And then this is looking at overall core leads. They didn't have necessarily the best month for overall lead volume. Actually, it's one of the lowest points, but because of the choice of words, this store was able to sell more cars.
If you enjoyed this video, hit subscribe. It's free, and we want to make more videos that you love for people just like you. Thanks for the support.